Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to yet another episode of the 3 and the 13 show. I'm 3, jersey number 3, Varun.
And I am 13, jersey number 13, Raghav.
Today we start the 3 and the 13 show with the greatest coach on this planet, Coach Valorie Kondos Field. Now retired, but the head coach of the UCLA Gymnastics team. Churning out champions after champions after champions, winning championships after championships after championships. Her list of awards is so long that if I try to read out from it, it will actually take a full episode just to read out her achievements. So, there we have it. One of the greatest coaches on this planet speaking to us on the 3 and the 13 show.
So Coach Valorie, from being a professional ballet dancer to becoming one of the best coaches in gymnastics, and that too without having any gymnastic experience, how special has the journey been for you? Please tell us.
My journey as a coach in athletics, the last 37 years has been unbelievable, more than anything I could have ever imagined or dreamed. I came from the world of ballet, so not only did I not know anything about gymnastics, but I had zero understanding of what a team culture should look like, what a healthy team culture should look like. I came from the stage and the theater. There is a culture, but there's not necessarily a team culture. And so what I learned, the most important thing that I learned in all my years of coaching, assistant coaching and head coaching, was the importance of relationships with other coaches, with our assistant coaches, with our staff, and with our student athletes. Because relationships are what allow you to go through the hard times with trust, and especially with trust in each other's intentions. Because we're all going to screw up. None of us are perfect in life. We all are going to make mistakes. If I was still coaching with everything that I've learned, I'd still be making mistakes. But they allow us to go through the struggles. Trust makes the good times magical, and trust makes the struggles really important, and that's the glue. You don't really get tight, and you don't really become a strong unit just through going through the good times. It's going through the struggles, and we all know that in life. And so that part of the journey is the thing that I think about most when people ask me about what it was like, and looking back now that I am retired.
Coach Val, would you just describe for us what was the feeling when you won the first championship of your life? And what happened to all the naysayers who doubted that you could not be the coach that they wanted because you yourself never had any experience of being a gymnast, but you proved them wrong?
The first time I won a national championship was 1997. I had been the head coach for 7 years. I had been at UCLA for 15 years as an assistant before the head coaching position. And I remember so clearly feeling like I finally belonged. I finally had earned my badge of honor, that I was a coach. As soon as you get hired to be a coach, everybody calls you coach. And people in gymnastics community called me Miss Val, but everybody else calls you coach. And every time I would be called coach, I would giggle because I'm like, I'm not a coach. I never wanted to be a coach. I never aspired to be a coach. Thankfully, I have a really good work ethic, and I bring a lot of enthusiasm to anything I do, and they just asked me to be their head coach. But being at UCLA at the time, we had won more national championships amongst the 24 teams at UCLA than any other university in the world. And that's what you strive for. That's, how you want to earn your keep, is to win. And I remember distinctly feeling like, I guess I am a coach. This is so cool. I'm a coach. Yes, there were massive amounts of naysayers when I was given the head coaching job, Our athletic director got emails and phone calls from all over the United States saying, what are you doing? You're hiring this dancer choreographer to be the head coach of one of the premier athletic programs in the country. She knows nothing. And I think part of what allowed me to enjoy the journey so much was I knew nothing. I really didn't know that there were haters out there. I didn't know that there were people hoping for my demise so that they could hire a real coach. I was so busy just trying to figure out this world of athletics that I didn't give any ear to outside noise, which is something that I talk about now. You know, the power of the mind and the power to be able to sift through the things, the constructive criticism that's going to help you get better, and that which is just noise. We're living in this world of social media and haters now. So, but it's still in our power. They're just words. It's still in our power what to do with those words. But back then, 30 years ago, I was so naive that I was just like, do every day, just trying to figure this thing out. And then, boom, we win. And I was like, okay. And I know every coach that has ever won a national championship will tell you, the first one's awesome. Then you have a target on your back from then on out. It doesn't matter if you haven't won again for 10 years. You got the target on your back, and you get all of the fans that are asking you, coach, you're going to bring it home this year, going to win again. And that's when all of that started. So that was, again, more noise.
What's been the biggest lesson that you have imbibed in your life and coaching from your mentor, John Wooden?
I was very, very, very blessed to have what I feel is the greatest mentor anyone could have, especially in the world of athletics. And that was, my mentor was the great John Wooden. And I met Coach when he was 80, and he died when he was 99 in 9 months. And so I had a substantial period of time with him. We became very, very close. We're like family. My husband and I became like family with him and his family. And I got to see Coach in a lot of different areas. We'd go over to his house for dinner. He'd come to our house for dinner. He'd come to gymnastics meets. We'd go to dinner afterwards. I would go and pick him up and take him to football games. I would sit with him at basketball games. I would take him to speaking engagements, small with 10 people, and at Staples Center with 12,000 people. So I got to see Coach Wooden in a lot of different lights. And the one thing that stands out to me when people ask me, what's the number one thing that I learned from him? That is to not try to be more than who you are. And when I was with Coach Wooden, he was always the same. Whether he was speaking with the janitor at Pauley Pavilion at UCLA, or whether he was speaking in front of 12,000 people at Staples Center, he was the same person. And I know that that comes with age. You know, people that get older, they just settle into who they are. But it's also what I heard he was like as a coach. And Coach Wooden wasn't always this nice little grandpa type of guy. He was feisty, he was fiery, he was competitive, but he was very true to himself. And that resonated with me because I came from the world of the stage. And I remember my first few years as a head coach being in the car in the parking lot and ready to go inside for a competition. And I remember taking a deep breath and going, okay, showtime, and being on for the whole rest of the afternoon, evening, and coming home absolutely exhausted. And my husband said to me one time, he's like, I don't get it. You know, you're up and you're fun and you're gregarious with all these other people, but then you come home and you don't say a word. I said, because I'm exhausted. Why are you exhausted? And I'm like, because I'm trying to be someone that I'm not naturally. I was trying to be my persona. I was putting on an affect of who I thought Miss Val was. And it was exhausting. And when I stopped trying to put on that image and just started being true to myself and who I am, The energy level didn't drop, but the impetus for the energy level was easier because it was natural. That's the number one thing I learned from Coach Wood.
Coach Val, why winning does not always equal success?
Last year, I did a TED Talk that has received quite a lot of acclaim, and it begs the question, does all winning equal success? And it's a question that I ask coaches, I ask business people, I ask parents, especially parents with children. I feel that we're at a wonderful time in our history, in the world, where we have so many examples of leaders that have been able to have tremendous success and win without compromising the people whom they are in charge of. And I think it's a super important question that we all need to ask ourselves because, and this isn't me talking, these are facts, we have got more reports amongst our youth and early adults, young adults, there are more reports of depression, stress, anxiety, and sadly suicide rates have skyrocketed. And when you ask athletes or students that aren't athletes, when you ask students, why are they so stressed out? Why are they depressed? They all say the pressure is just too much. Or athletes will say, it's no longer fun. Like I get in the car to come home, the car ride home, oh my gosh, that car ride home is like a dungeon for them. They just get drilled about how many points did you score? Did you win? Were you the leading scorer on your team? And the results of all that, this win at all cost culture that we have in businesses and schools and politics everywhere has proven to create damaged human beings. And we can all just kind of blow it off and say, yeah, but winning is still important. And when you think about why is winning important, because winning translates to dollars. So hence, money is the root of all evil. And I think it's a beautiful time for all of us to step back, take a deep breath, and think about what does success mean for us, and then to talk about that with the people whom you lead. Take your 11-year-old child and say, okay, you're going to soccer practice today. What is success going to look like for you today? And don't compare yourself to someone else, the best person on the team that's going to go ahead and score 3 points, 3 goals and all that. What does success look like for you today? Okay, then how are you going to achieve that? And then how are we going to assess that? And then ask, okay, what questions do you want to talk about when I pick you up from soccer practice today? Have that communication, have that trust. But we are at a time in our world where we need to understand that all winning does not equal success at all. And it's super fun to redefine what success looks like for yourselves and those people in your inner circle, your friends, your family, whomever. Talk about what does success look like? What is it going to look like today? And then celebrate the small victories daily. That's what makes life so much fun.
What was going through your mind when you were contemplating retirement and you eventually announced it? So what was your state of mind and what was going inside you? Please tell us.
I have been asked quite a bit why I retired when I did. We had just won another national championship. I had just, my book had come out, Life is Short, Don't Wait to Dance, and it did very, very well. So I was at like another peak in my life. Why would I retire now? It made no sense to people at all. But in my heart, I had to come up with an answer as to why I chose to retire. And the honest truth is, I can honestly say I loved every single day of my job, of my position as a head coach of UCLA Gymnastics. Even the tough days, the tough times, the struggles, I loved every day of my job, my time as the UCLA head coach. And it came to a point where I was no longer inspired by the work. I was no longer inspired by trying to figure out how to help every single athlete and then how to win another national championship. And I wanted to take everything that I had learned and share it on a bigger, global, honestly, platform, like my TED Talk, because I feel like it's so, so important. And I feel like people are raw and ripe and hungry right now for a different way. And I got super inspired every time I thought about that. But I didn't have the time to do that because I had a full-time job being the head coach. So since that inspired me, I figured it was the time to say adieu and thank you so much to UCLA and to the gymnastics world, and to let someone else lead the program. I felt it was super important that the program, UCLA Gymnastics, get new blood, fresh eyes, like a vitamin B12 shot. And I luckily, thankfully, have been able to achieve my goals, and that is to share this message on a broader platform, hence this platform. So thank you very much.
Rapid fire. Life as a coach, or life as a life coach?
Definitely life as a life coach. It's so much fun.
Your 7 national championships or the Pac-12 Coach of the Century Award?
Definitely 7 national championship titles, because you win one, and it's not just like you work really hard, you get to win a championship. It's got to be hard work. It's got to be bringing the team together. It's all about relationships. It's about getting the right people on the team, getting the right coaches on the team, and then there is luck. There is luck in every sport at every level of championship. So I'm very, very, very fortunate to have been able to earn 7 national championships.
Would you rather have an award named after you or a stadium?
Whoa, I would rather have a stadium. A stadium with a theater. That would be fabulous.
Would you rather be the best coach in the world and never win an Olympic medal, or be an average coach and win a golden medal at the Olympics?
I would rather be the best coach in the world. Absolutely, hands down.
Coach Val, what's your message for all those who aspire to be champions?
I feel that in anything we do in life, the magic recipe is 2 things. Show up with a great work ethic and enthusiasm. And my great mentor, John Wooden, his pyramid of success, the cornerstones are industriousness and enthusiasm. Hard work, work hard, show up every day, honest, hard, gritty work, and do it enthusiastically, and you will be successful at anything you set your mind to. I promise.
Coach Val, thank you for taking our time and speaking to us. It's an honor. One of the greatest coaches on planet Earth speaking to us about what makes her the champion that she is. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is how champions are. You can be one. Next week, yet another story on the 3 and the 13 show, wherein we try to decipher what makes a champion so that tomorrow you're inspired to become one yourself.